Vishok, it's our good fortune to be together today now. I think almost a year to the day since we signed our contract to begin the Salesforce Communications Cloud work together. How would you characterize your journey thus far from Salesforce to the Communications Cloud and looking at what's beyond? We've got a lot of exciting things happening at ENet in Guyana.
I think our journey has been extremely solid. With just a year in, we've been able to implement, we've gone live. We're achieving our goals, which is we've set out to become an all digital telecom. We're heavily software driven. We're heavily cloud native driven based on our entire architecture. Salesforce Communications Cloud complemented that. And I think working with Palladin has brought a skill set to us that we don't have in our organization. You guys have been able to tell us what we need, drive that journey with us, and really shape what it is we needed to have. And in the timelines, it allow us to have a phased approach to ensure that we're successful. Salesforce Communications Cloud, when you look at it and compare it to what's available globally, is definitely the gold standard, I think, for telecommunications. And what is most impressive is an operation of our size, which is a small telco, relatively small telco, but we're deploying at the quality of a tier one. So there's nothing that we will have in our network that we could say, oh, we can't do this, or we can do everything a tier one can do. We're using the power of the cloud. We've had Palladin set us in phases to get us up and running very quickly. We're going to now look at Marketing Cloud and all the tailored journeys that we can do for customers. So I think overall it's been a successful first phase implementation, but it all goes back to having what has been a realistic plan and a focused implementation.
And we've been very excited to help you along that journey. Excited also to see the emerging and burgeoning skill set that you have at the integration layer, for instance, at the maintenance and in-house competence layer.
Yeah.
One thing that stood out to me, Vishok, when we first met was you did not move slowly in an industry that is fixed asset driven. You recognize the need for digital and cloud forward solutions. And you are also not afraid to innovate with other cloud service complements to Salesforce, such as ARIA billing or Mavenir on the provisioning side. How has the integration work and the complements that you've adopted along the way, how has this all come together in tandem, and how have you seen ENet, if at all, grow culturally as an organization to meet the challenges of the market and the growth opportunity you see at hand?
Right. I think what has happened there is that we've implemented MuleSoft as kind of the key component to our orchestration. We've got Mavenir for mobile provisioning, we've got ARIA for billing, and then we've got all our third-party systems for the management of infrastructure. But what we've seen in-house is when you realize the power of this solution, everyone gets motivated, everyone gets challenged. And basically what we're doing, we're challenging the status quo. We're disrupting our little segment there in the Caribbean. We come up against two traditional telcos that are, kind of set in their ways. And this platform is giving us an opportunity to really change the way telecoms is done in our part of the world in Guyana. ENet has been able to, within 1 year, we are almost close to 20% of the mobile market, launched on May 3rd. And that's kind of a significant inroad for a greenfield player that has never had mobile in the network before. We were a cable TV provider and an internet service provider. Greenfield coming in, Salesforce platform, Communications Cloud being rolled out, all our own physical infrastructure. So we've built every tower, we've run every strand of fiber, and we've put out our infrastructure there. And what we've been able to do is connect that and leverage the power of the cloud and cloud native applications and put that in a time frame that I think it speaks for itself. I think there are very few implementations that has gone this quick and as successful. And I think a lot of that comes down to having the right partners, the right players in terms of ARIA. I met ARIA at Dreamforce. And within that week, I was able to close a deal. And within a few months, they were able to connect. And that's because they already had a built-in connector for Salesforce, which Palladin was able to leverage and even move our timelines further. So I think overall, when we look at especially MuleSoft and what MuleSoft brings to the Salesforce platform, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, it's almost infinite what you can think and how you can automate and what you can make happen.
I speculate to say, but I would like your validation, of course. The future of service offerings, the ability to monetize 5G, and then with the flexible cloud forward solutions, right, that are connected by MuleSoft, the power of insights that AI have the promise to bring us, right, that we're all in the middle of understanding and beginning to deliver. You have an exciting future ahead at ENet. This is not a stop at 20%, right?
Right. So yeah, one of the things we're looking at right now is putting in an SA core for 5G. Right now we're NSA. We're also looking at basically an agile implementation of how we build resources instead of data, and what it does on the Salesforce end. It gives us that ready-made ability to build as needed. So we're working with our mobile partner that's going to allow us to do a lot of things with 5G. You talk about slicing, you talk about all the use cases that can come with 5G. We're going to lay that on top of our network, working with software-based solutions, cloud-native solutions, solutions that are basically using very advanced APIs to get them, well, the MuleSoft platform, that is. It just gives you that flexibility to create and to dream and not worry about whether the technology could support it. It's almost sure that you can get the technology to make it work. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. It sounds sometimes too good to be true. And what it has done, it has changed our thinking of how we can generate revenue. And because when you think about how you create a new plan or how you create a new revenue stream, you ultimately need to build it, manage it, provision it, and do everything else that you would expect. And a lot of times the system limits that, or the platform or the design and the architecture of whatever software you have limits that. But I think in this solution that we've seen a lot of flexibility where the goalpost keeps moving for us, and we're able to push the limits far beyond what we would have initially imagined. So sometimes, a lot of people may spend a lot of time on the discovery phase and planning and so on. And what you would find happening is they may limit themselves to what they think they know already, as opposed to really exploring the solution and just getting it going and then develop as you go. Because I think at the end of the journey, you may not necessarily end up with what you were initially thinking. You may end up with something far more advanced. And I could see that applying to big telcos as well. They might spend 2 years planning. In a year, we're up and running, and we probably spend in the next year building something that would give us a product line that's ahead of a tier one. Forget on our scale that we might be a smaller telco, a different market, etc. But we've got that same power in our palms to do whatever it is in terms of building an advanced offering, plans, integrations, automations, and everything else.
And also a present and a future to meet your subscriber where they are, largely in your country through WhatsApp, right? And the interaction, not just the ability for payments, right, to be able to offer payments through WhatsApp, but eventually we see the ability to provide service, and these are notoriously challenging APIs to struggle, right? Yeah. That can be difficult to get to work properly. Yeah. How has the experience been so far?
So we're heavily dependent on our WhatsApp integration, and basically the channel solution that we do use, it's Salesforce, and we're kind of shifting that into our Communications Cloud right now. What that does as well too, WhatsApp is almost like the go-to for voice and messaging right now. So it allows customers to communicate in an interface that they're already accustomed, they're already comfortable with. And I think that's going to become a default go-to for a lot of even different countries where maybe WhatsApp is not the dominant one, but it allows you that ability to quickly offer something to interact with your subscriber customer in an environment that they're already comfortable with. It takes away that needing to launch a new opportunity, a new channel, and train and market it, whatever, because everybody's comfortable using something that they know.
In terms of advantage, it sounds like you've got a few sources here, right? Speed to deploy, right? Speed to meet customers where they are. the ability not just to build your own infrastructure rapidly in a wireless, native format,
Right.
but to offer services over wireless, but also to leverage existing services to then, again, meet that subscriber where they are. This is a very exciting future. And we could tell from our initial conversations when we met, I think we met now just over 15 months ago,
Yes.
first introduction. And to see the speed that things have come together has been truly impressive on the partner side, because as you say, a lot of firms, regardless of the industry, they think about how they've always done things.
Yes.
And the thing that struck me when I met you, Vishok, was that you saw how things should be done or how they could be done.
Yes.
The willingness to experiment, the willingness to take that chance, of course, in an intelligent manner,
Yes.
but in a calculated manner, but one with a tremendous upside as well and a bright future in it.
Right. And I think that's an important takeaway, Brandon, because most people, when they go to something new, they start looking at how could this do what I'm already doing, or how could I improve a process that I'm already doing, as opposed to, do I even need to do that process? I can tell you right now that with one implementation, which is our sign-up process that we've launched with Palladin and Salesforce, we've eliminated about 14 points, and we've brought that down just to 2. And I see there are 8 people that, we're putting them to do other things because they don't need to do that paperwork anymore. Everything is just end to end. It's in the system, and that's a combination of online signups with MuleSoft integrations and orchestrations that allow us to go directly to field services. So that's just one example of a simple thing where, we've got so much more resources now to focus on other things like customer service and customer experience.